Hello there, I'm Simon. Welcome to my channel. Today's topic is a bit controversial. It's time to talk about the cursed child. I did consider waiting a bit longer to make this video because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it justice. But then I figured cursed child can't even do itself justice. So I'm not gonna worry about it. So you've probably realized by now that I am not a big fan of the cursed child. The reason is that I feel that it's an insult to Harry Potter. You're kidding, right? This stuff flies in the face of the original books. I should make it very clear that I'm not talking about the show itself. I'm talking about the script and nothing more. I have not seen the show. I suppose it's well made, but if the script is anything to go by, I don't think I'm gonna see it. But whether or not I like it is completely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the question that I want to answer today, which is the cursed child canon? Let's define some terms first. This question has two terms to define: cursed child and canon. Let's start with the cursed child. When I'm talking about the cursed child, am I talking about the script itself, or am I talking about the actual play as it appears on stage? It's probably safer to go with the script, primarily because I can't actually talk about the show. I haven't seen it. But I also think that it's safer because it's uniform. The stage play is a live performance, so it's bound to be slightly different every time it's performed. If you're asking if it's canon, then it's not really helpful if there's a billion different versions of it. So since there's only one version of the script, I'm gonna go with that. What about canon? What do we actually mean when we ask if something is canon? Usually it is used in fandoms to mean officially part of the timeline. By that definition, no. Cursed Child is most definitely not canon. Here's why. I think there's two important criteria for something to be called canon. The first is that the author has to state that it is officially canon. Cursed Child has got this covered. J.K. Rowling herself has gone on record stating that Cursed Child should be considered canon. Seems like that should be all, right? Rowling says it's canon, so it's canon, right? For many people, that is the only argument they need. But I disagree. I think there's another criterion that is equally important, and in this case, it's a deal breaker. It is why many people, including myself, are so insistent that this cannot be canon. I think that in order for something to be part of the official timeline, it should also not contradict anything that happens in the official timeline, right? For something to be canon, it should at least line up with the canon that is already established. Can we agree on that? Now, what actually counts as canon for Harry Potter is in itself a hotly debated topic. But I think it's safe to say that wherever you stand in that discussion, we can all agree that if anything is canon here, at the very least it's the original 7 books, right? Well, that is where the Cursed Child fails, because it contradicts the established canon badly. A couple of examples. In his video on the topic, Seamus Gorman points out that everything in the entire series that happens after the first task would be slightly different, simply because Albus and Scorpius had a short but extremely weird conversation with Hermione. Seamus argues that that would be weird enough for it to come up in conversations with Ron and Harry, changing everything slightly. Now, I don't think it's quite that bad. I do think that it's plausible enough that this would not change the conversations between the trio, or the rest of the books for that matter, all that much. However, this is a relatively small impact they make. And we can't forget the bigger changes, which is all the sabotaging they do. They disarm Cedric in the first task, blow up his head, as in inflate it. They don't make it explode. They're trying to save his life, not end it sooner. And I haven't even mentioned the effects that all this would have had on the rankings, which would have changed everything. So basically, they make some significant changes. In fact, that is one of the complaints that I see a lot for Cursed Child, namely that they create alternate timelines. They actually change the past. And a lot of people are saying, that's not how time turners work. The way the time turner works in Prisoner of Azkaban is with a fixed timeline, meaning that everything that has happened, happened. And you can try to change the past, but you can't, because you've seen the present, and you already know that you didn't change the past. Does that make sense? What's happening in Cursed Child is clearly something entirely different. Here, alternate timelines are very much possible. Now, I don't think this is necessarily a deal breaker, because we have only seen short-range time travel, where they actually try to not change the past. Perhaps when you travel back further, and when you actively try to change the past, which is pretty much the entire plot of Cursed Child, maybe it is possible to create alternate timelines. We simply don't have enough data about time travel in the Potter universe to really make a call on this. Another problem is that, as the Super Carlin brothers point out, in this alternate timeline, Snape should still be dead, and Harry should still be alive. I'm not going to go into detail about this because Jay explains it quite well, so instead I'm just going to leave a link below so you can go check out that video. But basically, the alternate timeline is trying to do things that it just shouldn't be able to do. If that's not convincing enough, I do have a smoking gun for you. Because there is in fact one scene that appears in both the books, so it's definitely canon, and in the play, which is the epilogue of Deathly Hallows, which is also the very first scene of the play. It is the same scene. So if both are canon, which they are supposed to be, then they should be exactly the same, right? Well, they're not. Believe it or not, they actually changed the one scene that was already in the books. They didn't need to change it, but they did. This is a smoking gun. This is the creators making it very clear that they do not care about the established timeline. If you don't believe me, go read them both side by side. It is infuriating how different they are. Here's the thing. Rowling studied classics at the University of Exeter, meaning that when she says that the Cursed Child is canon, she is probably not using the common definition of the word, as it is found in fandoms. She is most likely using it as it is used in the academic community, which differs significantly from the meaning we've been using so far. The term canon actually refers to the body of works of one author. So, for example, the works of Jane Austen are all canon, but that doesn't mean they are all connected in the same timeline. I mean, they might be, I don't know. The Jane Austen literary universe. So the term canon basically has nothing to do with timelines and everything with the collection of works of the author. In this definition, timelines are irrelevant, and the role of the author is the only criterion that matters. So if Rowling decides that Cursed Child is important enough to be considered officially canon, who am I to deny that? Technical term for what the fandom normally calls canon is in fact continuity. So let's rephrase the original question to, is the Cursed Child part of the continuity? And as I've proven extensively throughout this video, no, it abso-bleeping-lutely isn't. TLDR of this video is the Cursed Child canon? Yes, but it is not part of the continuity, because that is logically impossible. The time has come for the YouTube thing. If you have comments, questions, or suggestions, let me know down below. If you liked the video, please like it and share it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. I'm sure you know the drill by now. Thanks for watching.